Hello YouTube, this is Jessica from STEM APKs. Welcome to another tutorial. In this tutorial, we're going to continue where we left off in the last tutorial, and we're going to work with OpenGL. But before we start working with OpenGL and rendering creating widgets and rendering windows and objects, we have to take a couple of housekeeping steps before we get there. And the first one of those steps is to make sure that your drivers are configured properly and you have the right drivers in your computer. So the first thing you need to do is find out what driver you have. First of all, you need to know what graphics card you're using. In my case, I'm using an NVIDIA graphics card. Excuse me, but it could be you could have an AMD ATI card, or you could have an Intel, or you could have an Nvidia. So first of all, you need to find out which one you have, and the easiest way to do it is just go into the Nvidia graphics. Nvidia. Let's go to history. I just closed it. I had it open. And NVIDIA drivers, and then there you go. And you go here, and where it says all NVIDIA drivers, and you go into this page, and here you choose, you give the name of your graphics card if you have an NVIDIA graphics card, of course, the product series, what series, you will know that. If you're a gamer, you know that for sure. And we're using Linux 64. Everything else is pretty much default. You hit search, and it's going to tell you the recommended driver that they want for that graphics card. Okay. In my case, it's 410-93 or 415 dash 27 or point 27. So either one of those will work for me in my case. In your case, it will be different. So once you know the driver that you need, you can download it from NVIDIA and you're good to go. Uh, I do not recommend you to do it this way. There is an easier way to do this, and because doing it this way, you have to shut off the X server, shut off the LightDM in Ubuntu, and that can become I cannot show you how to do it because I will lose connection with this making this video. That's why I don't show you. But also, I've gotten stuck right in the middle where it does not let me proceed. So I'm gonna show you a better way. Trust me, a lot easier. All you need to do is just go through this repository for a NVIDIA graphics driver and put it in just like I have. Sudo app repository PPA graphics drivers PPA, hit enter, and it's going to let you go in it, hit enter, and it's going to give you everything, the keys that you need, and all you need to do now is sudo apt-get update, and then you just update everything, all the repositories. So not only gonna do that one, it's gonna do some of the other ones that you have. In my case, I have 4 repositories: one for Java, one for Simple Screen, one for MPEG, and one for NVIDIA. So once those are done, then you do sudo apt install NVIDIA dash my driver that I wanted was 415, and then hit enter. I'm not gonna hit enter because I already have it, but in your case, you hit enter and it's gonna do it for you, and you're good to go. If you have an AMD graphics card, you need to, same thing, you find out, you go to this page right here, tell it what graphics card you have, the series, and then select it here and hit submit, and you're going to get uh, tell it that you're in Ubuntu, and and make sure that it agrees with 1604 or 1804. I'm on Ubuntu 1604 because 1804 is not compatible with certain things that I need to use. So I'm still on 1604. In your case, be careful here. You might be in 1804. Make sure that it's compatible with your version and then hit download. And then as you can see down here, it's giving you an Ubuntu tar.exe file. You see it on the bottom here, bottom corner here. When I hover over it, it tells you. And then you need to unzip that and untar it. And more likely it's gonna have a Debian package inside, more likely. So all you need to do, for those of you that don't know how to unpack or install a Debian package, let's say that the package is called, let's give it a name, nvidia.deb. Okay, so it's gonna be something like that. So all you need to do is do it. It's gonna take sudo uh, privileges. So you do sudo dpkg -i and the name of your Debian package and hit enter, and it's going to install the Debian for you. That's if you have an AMD. So now we're done with this step. We have the right drivers. We're ready to now work with other things that OpenGL needs. What are they? Let's find out. So now we're here. We close the year. So now let's go into the wiki page of OpenGL. And as you can see, it tells you right here what OpenGL is. It's a cross-language, cross-platform API for rendering 2D and 3D vector graphics. OpenGL is not a language, it's not a platform. It's an API to be able to render 2D and 3D vector graphics on your graphics processing unit, on your GPU, on your graphics card. That's all it is. That's all OpenGL is. So remember that. It helps you achieve hardware accelerated rendering. That's all it does. So in order to be able to have access to that API, you need to install uh, a couple other things also. You need to do, in our case, I'm going to be using FreeGlut, which is a newer version of the old Glut. And I'm not going to be doing this right now. Maybe later we'll go into that. And I'm going to be using FLTK as a widget toolkit because I already made some videos about it, and Qt is a little bit overkill for what we're doing right now, and I don't even. Let's not talk about this one. So I'm using FLTK. It's a little bit older, but it works for what I need, so I like it. So that's what, more likely FLTK, you already have it installed. If you watch some of my videos, I show you how to install it. And so let's just install FreeGlut. So you hit enter and it's gonna bring you into this page. It's gonna bring you to this page right here, the FreeGlut. And no, that's the wiki page. That's not what I want. I want the download. You wanna go here. So you go to FreeGlut, the free OpenGL utility toolkit, and then you go FreeGlut, hit end, click on it, and it's gonna bring you to SourceForge.net. It's gonna ask you if you want to save it, and you're gonna say yes. I'm gonna do this step with you because it can become a nightmare if we don't do it right. So this is doing, and then there's another one called I don't think they have it there, but it's called GLEW, which I like it instead of GLFW, that's a good one also, but I'm gonna use the Wrangler one. It's called Wrangler. There it is. And it's called the OpenGL Extension Wrangler Library, which is it helps you upload things properly and put everything in the way it's supposed to be. It makes you, it's a package to make your life a lot easier. Trust me on this one. So the latest one is 2.10. So you hit enter on that, and also it's gonna bring you to sourceforge.net, and it's gonna ask you if you want to download the latest version. You're gonna say yes, and it's going to download. And now I have these two libraries waiting for me in my downloads. Okay, I'm gonna do this step with you so you know. So now I'm going to go to, gonna clear this not to confuse you, and cl close this not to confuse you so you can follow along. Uh, okay, so let's continue here. So now we're gonna go to downloads and see what's going on in downloads. And actually, I didn't want to. Let's let's use another terminal so I don't lose my spot. So let's go to CD downloads, and there are the two right here that came in. There's that one, and this is old, so don't worry about it. That was there before, and don't worry about that one either. So just this tar file, and the other one was FreeGlut, so it's this one right here. Okay, so we're going to move these two away from the downloads because I need to clean my downloads. It's a mess. So let's move them up one one directory. So let's go move FreeGlut up, move GLEW to up. Okay, so let's go up, let's clear, and now there they are. There's this guy and this guy. So now let's use concept, FreeGlut, ls. So now the GC is gone, so all you need to do is tar xvf and then FreeGlut. And it's going to tar it. And now you're going to FreeGlut, and there it is. Okay, that's the directory that I created. We're inside of it right now. We're inside of it. Let's bring this up. Actually, let's exit this so you know what's going on. Clear. And this is where we are. We're inside the FreeGlut directory. As you can see, I don't see auto tools in here, but I see a CMake list.txt file in order to compile it, right? Uh, so I don't see a configure, I don't see auto tools. So let's just use CMake because that's what they have. So when I'm dealing with CMake, I always like to make a build directory where I can keep all this stuff nice and clean and separate from everything else. So now I go CMake dot dot make the app directory, hit enter, and then it's gonna get everything ready for me. But be very careful here. If it's giving you errors, like it didn't find OpenGL, make sure these errors you pay attention to these because you're gonna need them. Because if you need something, you need to download it. So make sure that you pay attention to that everything was configured properly and everything was generated properly. So now we clear this and then we see what CMake created, and it created all of the good stuff that we need. Okay, but the main thing that we need is this guy right there. That's the big one right there. So all we need to do right now is make, and it's going to start making. I'm going to break it because I don't want it. And in your case, you can keep doing it, and after it's done, it goes to 100%. You go sudo make install, and you can install it throughout the whole system if you want to. You don't have to. You can just keep it at make, and then just use it locally. But if you want to install it in the whole system, you just do sudo make install. And we're done with glut, with FreeGlut. So now we gotta do the same thing for GLEW. So we gotta go out of here and go, and now we dealt with this guy. So I'm going to remove it because I don't need him, because I already have. I just did this for you to follow along. So it's gone. So now I go to GLEW. Let's gunzip, GLEW, and then tar xvf GLEW, and then it's going to untar it. Let's clear these so you see ls, and there it is, my directory that I need to go into, go inside of it. And same thing, this one only has a make file. It doesn't even have a cmake. So it's not using auto tools, and it's not using cmake. So it's just using a regular make file. So the first thing I like to do is read. When I don't see much, I like to read the README file, and see what it's telling me. And it's telling me it's okay just to use make. That's all you need. And sudo make install and make clean. Okay, that's all I need to know. So we were right. We just need to do make, and it's going to make everything. I'm going to stop it because I don't want it again. I already have it installed properly, so I'm going to interrupt here. But in your case, you're going to go through it, let it do its thing. If you find if for any reason stops, and it's asking you to download a file, make sure you download that file, and then hit make again, and it's going to continue. After it's done this, just do sudo make install, and it's going to install it through your whole system, and then you do make clean like they wanted you to do, and then hit enter. In my case, I'm going to hit make clean, and it remove all of the stuff that I don't need because I already have it. And then I'm going to remove all of that stuff so I don't get confused here. And RF, and then GLEW, get rid of that tar, and there it goes. Okay, so now you have OpenGL, you have your drivers downloaded properly. You have OpenGL and OpenGL helper libraries configured properly, downloaded and installed properly. So now let's test OpenGL and make sure that it's working properly. So in this case, we go into this little program that I have here just to test it. And it's just a window program, and I'm going to open it here so you see it. It's not that many. How many lines of code here? Is 30 lines of code. That's all you need. 30 lines of code to test to make sure that it's working properly. First thing you need to do is, let's see, is OpenGL is bringing the GLUT header file. This is your your callback, render scene callback, I believe. This is just clearing the buffers. And later on, we'll go more into these. You here, you're swapping the buffers, you're initializing. And if you don't know any of these functions, if you're not familiar with these functions, just copy and paste and go back to the book that we had open before there. I'm gonna show you something that you can do. This glue, where's GLUT? I think this is the one. And then you're going to the FreeGlut, and you're going to API, and there they are. A lot of these functions are there, so it will tell you what they are and what they do. And if you wanna, it goes into detail explaining to you what it does, and every one of them. So just if you want to know, if you're not sure what these are, this is what you can find out what they do. In this case, you're initializing. In this case, you're initializing here the double buffer and the RGBA values. That's red, green, blue, and alpha. Here you're giving it the size of the window. Here you telling it where it's gonna be located, 400 on the X and 400 on the Y. Here you're gonna give it a title. In this case, it's gonna say "Hello YouTube," and then here you're gonna give it the different colors. Okay, so let's just run this. So in this case, let's do Control X, and let's run it by going nano CMake list text. I want to make sure that I have the right, nope, that's not the one. And let's just run it regularly with a README. I usually leave myself these notes so I know how to run these ones, because depending on the libraries, and sometimes it's easier using a CMake, sometimes it's just easier using just a command line compiling. So let's do this. There's a reason why I'm doing this. I want to show you this. So let's, in this case, uh, it did it already. So let's remove the executable and do it all over again, because there's a reason why I want to do this. And I'm going to remove the LGL and remove some of the flags, the library flags, just so you know the type of errors that you might get. So right now I'm getting G++, the name of the file, in this case is a C++, and then object, and then the name of the executable, and then I'm just gonna hit enter to see the error that it gave me. And it's gonna give me an error saying, okay, no input files, triangle CPP. So that's not even the right one, right? So let's do this one and say, sorry, I meant Tut1 Windows C++, and then I meant Tut1, and then hit enter. It's gonna give you these undefined references, and you're gonna see GL, GLUT, and then GLUT, and then GL. So you know that you're missing libraries. So if you see this type of errors, that means that you need some of the flags, the library flags. So just go dash L, include the GL, and let's see if it makes it happy. And you can see some of the GL errors went away, like that one went away, and that one went away, right? But some of the GLUT ones are still there, so you know you need the GLUT also. So you do dash lg GLUT, and now it compiled cleanly. And if you see it, it's right there. So now you go, let's run it and run it the right way, and it's gonna open the window, hello YouTube, just like we want it. We can resize this window. We can make it smaller. We can do all kinds of things with this window. And also, we can go back and, and let me show you how easy it is to manipulate this code to do whatever you want it to do. You go here and let's say that you want to change let's change the color. And let's call it, let's make it kind of like a gray. So these are your RGB values. So what I'm doing, I'm changing them to 0.5. This is your alpha, so that one is either 0 or 1. Don't worry about it. These are the three main ones that we're dealing with. So this color should give me some type of a gray, more or less. So let's do yes, and then let's recompile it again and run it again. And now you're gonna see that uh, the window now is a nice gray, as you can see. And now that's how easy it is to manipulate this code. And of course, it was very simple code, 30 lines, maybe 15 actual lines of code, but it will get a little bit more complicated. Trust me, as we go along, it's not going to be as easy as this one. But if you got that window, everything is working properly. So in the next tutorial, what we're going to do, we're going to start keep working with widgets and start loading the helper libraries and make them integrate them with OpenGL and show you how we can integrate the other big toolkits and libraries. But that will be down the road. This is the end of this tutorial. If you like this tutorial, please click the like box, subscribe to my channel, follow me on Twitter and GitHub, and I will see you next time with another tutorial. Take care.